It was raining heavily that night when Mama Efe heard a soft cry outside her door. Living alone in a quiet corner of Abeokuta, she wasn't used to surprises. She opened the door and froze. A baby girl, barely days old, lay in a basket, soaked and crying. Her heart broke. Welcome to Africa Tales by Fiend, home of unique African folk tales. Mama Efe picked her up without thinking, wrapped her in a scarf, and rocked her close. "Who left you, my dear?" she whispered, but there was no one in sight. With trembling hands, she brought the baby inside and lit her small kerosene lamp. The baby stopped crying and stared into her eyes. Something stirred in Mama Efe, a feeling she hadn't felt in years. She called the baby Anu, meaning mercy, because that's what the child was, a second chance at love and family. That night, Mama Efe didn't sleep. She stayed awake, watching over Anu, not knowing that this little girl would change her entire life. Mama Efe had never married. Some said she was too picky. Others said the right man never came. She lived a simple life, sewing clothes for people in the village. But her days were often quiet and empty. Anu changed that. Every morning now began with laughter, baby cries, and warm bottles. Mama Efe learned how to mother again, though she had never truly been one. Her neighbors were surprised when they saw her carrying a baby. "Efe, who is this child?" they asked. "She's mine now," she answered with a soft smile. She sold her favorite wrappers to buy diapers. She stopped taking tailoring jobs far away just to stay close to Anu. The loneliness that once filled her house slowly disappeared. Anu's presence lit up her life like morning sun breaking through the clouds. But even as she loved the child deeply, a fear remained buried in her heart. What if someone comes to take her away? Raising Anu wasn't easy. Mama Efe often went to bed hungry so Anu could eat. She patched up old clothes and walked miles to buy cheaper baby food. She sold her jewelry gifts from her late parents to pay for Anu's vaccinations. She refused to take handouts. "She's my daughter," she would say proudly. When Anu was sick with malaria at age 2, Mama Efe stayed awake for 3 nights straight, praying and fanning her little body. The clinic bill almost drove her into debt, but she didn't care. Her love was fierce. It burned like fire. Each sacrifice deepened their bond. Anu, now able to walk and talk, began calling her Mama without anyone teaching her. Those words made everything worth it. But Mama Efe still kept the blanket Anu was found in the only clue about her past, hidden in a box under her bed, just in case. Anu was growing fast. At age 5, she had bright eyes and loved to ask questions. She would sit beside Mama Efe's sewing machine and talk non-stop about everything. "Mama, why don't I have a daddy like the others?" she once asked. Mama Efe paused. She knew one day this moment would come. But she wasn't ready. She smiled softly. "Because God chose me to be your only parent," she said. Anu accepted it, for now. That night, after Anu slept, Mama Efe opened the old box under her bed and looked at the faded baby blanket again. There was a strange symbol stitched into the edge one she had never understood. She ran her fingers across it and sighed. "I pray this never brings trouble," she whispered. But in a town not too far away, someone was also holding a piece of that same blanket. Years passed. Anu became the joy of the entire neighborhood. She helped Mama Efe deliver sewn clothes, sang in the church choir, and always made people laugh. Though poor, she never felt unloved. Mama Efe taught her respect, hard work, and faith. "Never look down on yourself," she'd say. "You were chosen." By the time Anu was 16, she was known as the tailor's angel. Many people believed she was just like her mother, kind and selfless. But deep down, Anu still wondered about her past. She never pressed Mama Efe too hard, afraid of the pain in her eyes whenever she asked. Meanwhile, a rich man named Mr. Damilare stared at a faded photo in his hands, a photo of a baby wrapped in a cloth, with a symbol stitched at the edge. He had been searching for years, and now he was close. It was a regular Saturday. Anu and Mama Efe were at the local market buying foodstuff when a tall, well-dressed man stepped out of a black SUV. He wore designer shoes and sunglasses, and his eyes scanned the crowd like he was searching for something or someone. He stopped at the vegetable seller and showed her a picture. "Have you seen this girl?" he asked. The woman looked at it, then at Anu across the street. Her eyes widened. But before she could speak, the man was already staring at Anu. Mama Efe noticed and instinctively pulled Anu close. "Let's go," she said, holding her hand tightly. The man's eyes followed them as they disappeared into the crowd. Back in the car, he looked down at the photo. "She's alive," he whispered. "After all these years." That night, it rained again, just like the night Anu arrived in Mama Efe's life. As thunder rolled across the sky, there was a knock on the door. Mama Efe's heart dropped. She opened it slowly, and there he stood, the same man from the market. He smiled gently. "Good evening, Ma. My name is Damilare. I believe the young lady you're raising is my daughter." The room fell silent. Anu stared at him in confusion. "You're what?" Mama Efe's knees grew weak. Damilare pulled out a folded paper from his pocket. It was a photo of the baby in the blanket. The exact same symbol was there. "I didn't abandon her," he said softly. "She was stolen from me." Inside the small living room, emotions ran high. Mama Efe clutched her chest as Damilare told his story. Years ago, his wife had died during childbirth. While he was away on a business trip, the house help, confused and overwhelmed, ran off with the baby out of fear of being blamed. They never found her again. Damilare searched for years, using private investigators. Only recently did someone in Abeokuta match Anu's age and appearance with the picture he still kept. "I know this is sudden," he said, "but I've waited too long to find her." Anu looked at Mama Efe. "Is it true?" she asked, tears in her eyes. Mama Efe nodded slowly. "I found you, but I never took you from anyone. I only loved you as my own." The days that followed were full of confusion. Damilare began visiting often, bringing gifts and taking Anu out to fancy places. He wanted to make up for the lost years. Anu was amazed by the world he showed her: shopping malls, fancy restaurants, and stories of her late mother who she never knew. But each time she returned home, Mama Efe's eyes would be heavy. She could feel the distance growing between them. "I love you, Mama," Anu would say. "I'll never leave you." But Mama Efe knew something was changing, and she feared she was losing the only person who had made her life complete. And still, she never stopped loving her. One Sunday afternoon, Damilare came to visit with a lawyer. He sat across from Mama Efe, cleared his throat, and said, "I want to take Anu abroad. There are better opportunities for her there. I'll handle her education, her future, everything." Anu was silent. Mama Efe's face remained calm, but her heart was bleeding inside. "She is your blood, yes," she said, "but she is my child." The lawyer spoke. "We're not here to fight. We're here to offer legal guardianship, with your consent." Anu looked between them. This wasn't just about love anymore. It was about who she belonged to. And for the first time, she didn't know the answer. That night, Anu couldn't sleep. She sat on the floor of her small room, holding a pen and paper. Her heart was heavy, torn between love and opportunity. By morning, Mama Efe woke up to find a letter on the table. Her hands shook as she read. "Mama, please don't hate me. I'm not running away. I just need to find out who I really am. I'll call every day. I'll come back. But I must go." Mama Efe dropped to her knees, clutching the letter to her chest. The silence in the house screamed louder than any noise. Her only companion was gone. Days passed, then weeks. Anu was gone, living in a mansion in Victoria Island, starting her application to study abroad. Damilare posted pictures online, proud to show the world his daughter. But Mama Efe didn't eat much. She barely spoke. Her tailoring slowed down. Her heart was still beating, but it was empty. She sat alone each evening, staring at Anu's childhood pictures on the wall. The house echoed with memories. Laughter that once filled it now haunted her. "I gave her everything," she whispered. "And now I'm just a name in a letter." One afternoon, while organizing her sewing things, Mama Efe found something hidden under a box, a crumpled envelope. It was a hospital tag, the kind put on newborn babies. It had Anu's name and a different date than the one Damilare gave. Confused, Mama Efe took it to the old midwife who once treated her. The woman squinted and said, "This tag belongs to a baby born at the local clinic. Not in Lagos, like that man said." Something was wrong. Could Damilare have lied? And if he wasn't the real father, who was he? Back in Lagos, Anu sat in her new room, feeling more like a stranger than a daughter. She overheard a phone call, Damilare speaking angrily to someone. "You promised she was the right girl. I paid for results. If this backfires, it's on you." Anu froze. She found a drawer in his study. Inside were DNA test papers, all stamped inconclusive. Tears filled her eyes. He wasn't sure. He didn't even know for certain. And yet he pulled her away from the only woman who truly loved her. Her legs trembled as she packed her bags. She had to go home. Mama Efe was sitting by her sewing machine when she heard the knock. She opened the door, and there stood Anu, dusty, tired, crying. She dropped her bag and fell into Mama Efe's arms. "I'm sorry," she wept. "I thought I needed answers, but I already had everything. You are my mother." Mama Efe held her tightly, rocking her like she did years ago. She said nothing. She didn't need to. Love had returned home. The next day, Damilare arrived in Abeokuta unannounced. He looked shocked when he saw Anu back in Mama Efe's house. "You came back?" he asked, confused. Anu stood up. "You lied to me. You never confirmed I was your daughter. Why did you do that?" Damilare sighed and sat down. I was desperate. I lost my wife, my daughter vanished, and when I saw you, I wanted to believe you were her." He looked at Mama Efe. "You raised her well. I just wanted to feel like a father again." His voice broke. Mama Efe's expression softened, but her words were firm. "You should have come with the truth. You nearly broke her." A few weeks later, the truth finally came. Damilare ordered a new, more accurate DNA test. The results were clear. This time, Anu was not his biological child. He came to the house with the result, tears in his eyes. "I'm sorry," he said. "I took someone else's child and almost destroyed her world." Anu nodded. "You didn't destroy it. You just reminded me who truly loves me." They forgave him, because holding on to hate was not what Mama Efe taught her. But Anu still had one more question. Who were her real parents? 1 month later, a woman named Kikalomo arrived in the village. She had heard whispers of a girl who was found in a basket years ago. Her story shocked everyone. She had given birth at 17, but was forced to abandon her child by her own family, who feared shame. She left the baby near a church and never returned. Now married with kids, she had searched silently for years, guilt eating her alive. When she saw Anu, her hands shook. "I think I'm your mother." But Anu didn't run into her arms. She looked back at Mama Efe and smiled softly. Anu sat between the two women, one who gave her life and one who gave her love. She asked Kikelomo the hard questions. "Why didn't you try harder to find me?" Kikelomo wept. "I was weak. I was scared. But not a day passed without me thinking of you." Anu listened. And then she turned to Mama Efe and took her hand. "This is my mother, the one who stayed, the one who sacrificed, the one who raised me." Kikelomo nodded, understanding that biology could not compete with devotion. "I just want to know you now," she said gently. And just like that, forgiveness began. Years passed. Anu went on to study education and returned to the village to open a school for orphans and abandoned children in honor of Mama Efe. She became a voice for children who felt unloved, forgotten, or alone. Mama Efe grew older, but never stopped sewing. Her eyes always filled with pride as she watched Anu become the woman she prayed for. Kikelomo became part of their lives not as a mother, but as a friend and aunt. She made peace with her past by helping other young mothers. And as for Anu, she always said, "The day I was abandoned was the day I was truly found." Love makes a mother, not blood. True family is chosen through sacrifice, loyalty, and the courage to stay when others walk away. If you've watched up to this point, please subscribe to this channel to encourage us to create more heartfelt stories for you.